How long you had the place open?
10 years.
10 years?
10 years?
Yeah. 10 long years.
long
Feels
time.
like 110.
Yeah.
It consumes your life. It does. You know?
Hopefully in a good way.
First thing I do when I come here, turn the register on, turn the oven on, get everything going, and hope, pray that people will be hungry and will come and see me for food. It's dough, sauce, cheese, meatballs, everything, over and over and over and over and over again. How many boxes have I folded? I have no idea. Gotta cover the babies up. You don't want them to catch a cold. Don't touch the oven, you'll get burned. I am Daniel Santoro, owner of Santoro's Pizzeria Italiana. Just living my dream. All through my life, I wanted a pizza shop. I didn't know the first thing about it. You know how it is when you want something. I was tired of saying, what if? I was working at FedEx. I worked there for 19 years, and I could see I wasn't getting where I wanted to be. I found this place on Craigslist, and I took the money out of my 401k and paid the penalties because I wasn't going to be working to pay it back. That was 10 years ago. I stayed part-time with FedEx for just about 2 years after I opened this. It's very difficult because I would start at 5:30 in the morning. But there were times that I didn't leave here until 3 o'clock in the morning because there's that, you can't do it tomorrow morning, so you're already here, just get it done now. You know, there's a lot of prep work that goes into everything. The dough just doesn't magically appear. So it's a labor of love. It really is. You don't count how many hours you work because you'll quit. My sister was always studying. I was always helping my mother cook. Case in point, I went over to my mother's house 2 weeks ago to take her to a doctor's appointment. She told me it was at 10 o'clock. It was at 1. So I'm already there. I go in, let me make you some waffles. Okay, so I had 2 waffles. And she says, you know, we just ground all the meat for the sausage. Come downstairs, we'll make some sausage. Okay, my mother told me, do you know how old you were when you first started doing this? I'm like, no, I don't remember. She says, almost 4. So at 3.5 years old, I was already making sausage. Yeah, we used to make sausage. We used to make prosciutto. You know, my mother still makes her own cheese. Some people think that you got to go to cooking school to learn how to cook. If it's not in you, that's where it comes from. My mother spent Christmas in Italy and New Year's in America. In order for my mother to get the money to get the plane ticket to come over here, her father left her a bull. And what she did, she took that bull to like the fair. The bull was kind of mean, and he jumped out of the back of the trailer and broke his horn. Now this is how they think over there. It's not a whole cow because it's missing its horn. They got, pardon my French, they got some cow shit and some shoe polish.
No way.
And stuck it back on so that she was able to sell it for the full price and get the money to come over here. When COVID hit, it was very good the first 5 or 6 months of COVID. People still wanted to eat. And a lot of people were like, where are we gonna go? Well, we've been doing takeout from day one. You know what I mean? So it was nothing new. But the amount of people that were coming, I mean, my business took off. And there were times like a Friday night, I wouldn't even reach 6:30. I'd be sold out of everything. And I told you I have 14 trays of dough. There would be people standing outside waiting to come in and order. I have to go and tell them, I'm sorry, we are closed. Well, we just want a small piece. I have nothing to sell you. I have no more. Shut down, clean, and then start prepping for the next day. After the 6 months, all you have to do is follow social media, Facebook. And you connect with all these different groups to help get your business out there. And then you start reading, what can we eat tonight? I'm tired of pizza. I'm tired of hoagies. Where can we go? And I just came across this problem now. I had a couple come in and eat that I hadn't seen since COVID started. And they're like, oh, you're still here. I felt like saying, no thanks to you. You could have picked up, we could have delivered to you, no contact delivery. People kind of forgot what they used to do because they were just so happy to be outside again. Nobody's going to do anything for you. You got to be willing to do it yourself. You just keep going. It's the fight. If I write a book, that's what it's going to be, the fight. You got to fight for everything. That all came about when I got sick. I had diverticulitis. I've had it for many years. And an infection started in my colon and then went into my blood and went all the way up into my liver. And basically, you've heard of people going septic. I went into the hospital on a Tuesday. They said that if I wasn't there by Friday, I'd have been gone. Even though I pay into unemployment, I'm not allowed to collect. So I have 3 checkbooks to balance with nothing coming in to do what I had to do. I wasn't allowed to work here because of the flour and the heat of the oven. So I started driving trucks again. And that was nice because it was Monday through Friday. I went to work. I came home. I was done. I was home every night. I was home every weekend. I didn't have to worry about putting in an order with Penn Mac. I didn't have to worry about making this or making that. I did my job and I was done. In a way it was nice, but it polluted my mind. Just going out and I'm doing a job, but I'm working for somebody else. When I was 16, I got a job working at Eaton Park as a busboy. I don't know, did they not like me? I have no idea. I was bussing tables and there was a guy sitting in the table with his head in his soup and there were no bubbles coming out of the soup. So he died.
No way.
And I went back to tell the manager, I'm like, we got a problem. And he's like, what's the problem? And I says, well, there's a guy out there at table 12. He died. How do you know he's dead? I said, well, his head's in his soup and there's no bubbles coming out. Go over there, pick his head up and take the soup out from underneath him. I was 16 years old. I never touched a dead body, and that day wasn't going to be the day that I did. And I says, I'm not doing it. He turned me in to corporate.
And I sent him back out to the dining room to clean up the dead body, but he said he wouldn't do it.
I had to call corporate and tell them the story, and basically they took that off my record. So yeah, I didn't like that gentleman. When you love what you do, I'm not going to say you don't work at all. You do, but it's all for you.
Qualify online in just a couple of minutes.
Wonderful.
Then enter
Good.
some brief information, schedule an appointment with a
Wonderful.
state licensed doctor right there on demand
That's what
at a
you
time that is
want.
most convenient for you, and you'll be well on your
Good.
way.
It was so much
That
fun
is so much
yesterday.
better than trying.
Saturday afternoon, this woman comes in here and placed an order, and I'm talking to her, and she says, are you the owner? I said, yeah. She says, well, I'm going to tell you something. I live in Florida. I says, well, how'd you hear about me? She says, well, I was on the airplane coming here. And some guy asked me, where are you headed? And she's like, I'm going to Castle Shannon, to some ice castle place. He goes, listen, right behind the ice castle, do yourself a favor. Get pizza at Santoro's. So that was my aha moment for the month, you know? It's a family. it's a family, you know. I get anywhere from 3 to 5 5-star Google reviews a week. And I reply to each one of them personally. And I tell them, you know, thank you for your review and your comments. Welcome to La Famiglia. You got to make it personal. If you want to do something, don't say what if. Just go. Just give it a shot. There's no failure, you just try again. You know?